Hey, welcome to Talking Microsoft. This week we're going to talk a little bit about deriving value from your Windows PC. Hey, you're watching the Frugal Tech channel. On this channel we do technology analysis, some product reviews, and occasionally a tutorial here and there. How you doing? I always enjoy reading your comments down below. It means a lot to me. And you can help support my channel when you shop Amazon by using my Amazon affiliate link down below. As you know, with Adpocalypse and all that, the revenue from Google AdSense is really dried up. And but I'm never going to plan on starting a Patreon campaign or anything like that. So if you shop on Amazon, don't cost you another extra nickel, and we make a shekel or two to buy some gear to review. At any rate, I want to talk a little bit about how I derive value from my Windows PCs. When I first started as a YouTuber, I began with a 2007 iMac 24-inch with the Core 2 Duo CPU. And that's actually how I launched my channel and started making videos. And from there, I progressed from a iMac to the Mac Pro and finally to a MacBook Pro. And I actually ran my business and did everything I needed to do on the Macs. And it was I'm going to be honest with you, it was pretty good. However, over the last few years, I have gradually made and completed the switch back to the world of Windows PC because I found, in my opinion, more value for me and what I do with a Windows PC than I did a Mac. Okay, so this video is not about Apple bashing, and people buy Macs for a variety of reasons. All I can say to you is that, first off, I view computers as a tool to accomplish a task, okay? They're not a religion to me. I've never considered resale value part of the equation because to me, a computer is an expense as well as a tool. Okay, so how do I define value? What does that mean to me? Well, it's the amount of tasks I can perform over a given amount of time divided by the total cost of ownership. Sounds maybe a little complicated. It's really not. The more tasks that I can accomplish in a specified amount of time, because again, I look at a computer as a tool and I'm trying to accomplish various pieces of work on these things. The more tasks in a shorter amount of time divided into the cost of what I'm paying for it, the total cost of ownership, that's where I get value. What I don't get value from is from aesthetics, the looks of a machine. I don't derive value from necessarily the resale value of a machine. I define value from how much better that machine makes my life and how much more quickly I can accomplish my work. One of the things I hear from more than one Mac user out there, a number of them, is talking about resale value and total cost of ownership, and that ultimately they can resell their Macs and get all this money back on it. That wouldn't apply to me anyway because I end up giving my used computers to friends and family who need a computer. Now, as a business person, I give each machine I buy an economic life. Typically, a laptop, I'll give it a life of 3 years. And if you get more than that out of it, great. And then on a desktop PC, I give it a life of 4 to 5 years. And after that, it's going to end up being donated to somebody, typically. You know what? For me, it's all about the applications, the stability, and the performance. The applications I need to do my work, whether I'm doing content creation on my Windows PCs, such as video editing or audio editing, or whether I'm doing my small business and I'm doing bookkeeping, spreadsheets, presentations, etc. It's all about the applications and stability. I don't care how beautiful a user interface is or how pretty a machine is, if I can't accomplish my tasks as quickly as possible and as stably, is that a word? Probably not, but you know what I mean, as possible. And I think that Windows has gotten better and better and better, especially from Windows 7 on. Windows 7 was a delight. Windows 8, not so much. I predicted to be a failure in the marketplace, and I was proven 100% correct. Not because it was bad, but because of the massive change to the user interface and all the pain points that would cause. And I have to tell you, I love Windows 10. I love it to pieces. Privacy issues aside, it's been stable, it's been fast, and guess what? I haven't paid for an upgrade to Windows 10 since its release. Microsoft is now pushing out tremendous updates and enhancing the value all along. However, that's not the equivalent of the same thing where Apple gives out free major monolithic updates once a year. I understand that if I wanted to put Windows 10 on a different machine, I'd have to pay for it. So we're going to discount the free operating system updates as part of the equation. But ultimately, here's what I found over my years. You truly get what you pay for, all right? It's not fair to compare a $3,000 computer against a $700 computer. There's a lot of sacrifices that are made along the way to get that price point down, all right? To be fair, to derive maximum value from your Windows PC, make sure that you get a quality machine. If you build your own, you use quality components, or if you buy through a third party or a system builder out there, that you buy a machine with quality components. It's simply not fair to compare something that uses no-name off-the-shelf parts against the company that uses brand name top quality components. I have yet to find a single application on the Mac that I can't find a great Windows replacement for in order to accomplish my work, whether it's in the world of creativity, which would be things like Photoshop, Vegas. I use Vegas Pro for video editing. I've never really seen a specific Mac-only application that says that is the reason I've got to own a Mac. And from my experience, cloud-based applications aside, because they're a whole different critter, I've yet to find a business application on the Mac side that was anywhere near as robust as on the Windows side. There always seems to be compromises or things missing or kind of screwy stuff, in my opinion, on the business side of software for the Mac. There's not as much business type software written for Macs, even to this day, even though they've got millions and millions of Macs out there in the market. So when we're talking about deriving value from a Windows PC, again, this is from the mindset of saying, okay, a computer is a tool, it's not a religion. Aesthetics aside, trying to impress people that I can afford a super expensive computer, let's put all that aside. It's a tool, right? It's a tool to help me get my work done as quickly and efficiently as possible, maintaining quality and having something with longevity where I can get the most value from it. That's what it's all about. I think there's a number of people out there who's had bad experiences with Windows because they've tried to go and cheap out on the machines, right? They bought in cheap computers that are stuffed full of trialware, bloatware, and maybe they even practice unsafe computing, and they hang their judgment on the Windows PC based on that experience. Of course you're going to have a bad experience with Windows if that's the way you do business. You've probably noticed I've not brought up Linux. The reason for that is in the business world, Linux makes for a wonderful server environment, not so much for a desktop environment in the typical small American business and even in the enterprise. It's just not there yet. I'm not going to go into the whole Linux debate. I run a business. I'm not a computer hobbyist, all right? I want something I'm going to sit down and work with and make me money. So to that extent, it basically boils down to Windows PCs versus Mac PCs. And quite frankly, the whole total cost of ownership to me is a complete non-starter when you start using things like resale value into the equation. When we really look at the reason we bought that machine to begin with, which was productivity, how much did we make off of that machine? How much work did we create? How much of our goals did we accomplish using this particular tool? And not everybody that buys a Mac is obviously a content creator. Not everybody that buys a Windows PC is a business person, all right? But I find that the Windows PC overall just provides better value in the long haul, provided you use common sense, right? You buy a quality PC, you're careful about the software that you install, you practice safe computing, and you're going to get that return on that expense. Again, a computer is not necessarily an investment, but it's a tool. I guess you could say, well, the tool could be an investment if it helps you make money. Professionally speaking, I think that the Windows PC gives the most value, hands down, over time, as long as the playing field is equal, than over, say, a Mac PC, and definitely over a Linux PC, unless you're talking a server environment. I hope this video makes some sense to you, because I've had so many people say, why did you go from Mac back to PC? It doesn't make any sense. You're bashing Apple. What did Apple do to you? Look, I have some Apple products. I have an iPad Pro. I have an iPhone 8. I love their mobile devices. I could get by on Android, and I could get by with this, Microsoft Surface Pro, but I just happen to have a different use case for my mobile devices, and probably a lot of other people do. Ultimately, we buy computers to do specific tasks that we want them to do, and your use case is probably different than mine, and mine's different than somebody else's. But ultimately, isn't it all about those uses and the productivity that you get from it? And Windows has come such a tremendous way. It's just amazing how powerful, fast, and how Microsoft is responding to the marketplace. I think it's a conversation worth having, and I know that there's going to be some very interesting comments down below, and I can't wait to see them. Bruce Naylor, have a productive week ahead. Take care.